In a 6-month investigation you'll see only on CBS This Morning, we traveled to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs to investigate sexual assault in the service academies. The Air Force Academy's stated mission is to educate, train, and inspire men and women to become officers of character in service to our nation. But more than a dozen current and former cadets have told CBS News they reported their sexual assaults to the Air Force Academy only to then experience retaliation by their peers and their commanders.
It was my dream school. I thought about it more, and I was like, I love the Air Force. I love the esprit de corps, being a part of something. So I was really, really excited when I got my appointment. It's one of the most prestigious places you could ever go to school.
You knew at 7 years old that you wanted to go to the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, I wanted to be a pilot.
It was something you dreamed of your whole life.
Yeah.
Emily Hazen was supposed to graduate in 2015 as a commissioned officer from the elite United States Air Force Academy. Both she and Melissa Hildermeyer chose to abandon their military careers after they were sexually assaulted by fellow cadets.
I was sexually assaulted my freshman year, and the sexual harassment I endured eventually made me leave.
Describe that harassment.
My perpetrator would follow me on runs. He would tell me he urinated on my car. He would write crude things on my car, like in the fog. He would send me horrible text messages. He would stalk me. He would ask me where I was going in my little brown dress.
Was he ever reprimanded in any way?
He was talked to by his commander about a very crude text message I received and told that that was unbecoming of an officer.
Whatever happened to that cadet?
He graduated.
And what happened to you?
I left.
I intended to keep it a secret because
Hildermeyer says she was sexually assaulted by 2 fellow cadets. She admits they were all drinking underage. She says they began to harass her, and she filed a report about the assault. But she told us agents based at the academy with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations had already made up their minds.
they would attack me. They would say things like, these guys have every reason to tell the truth, and you have every reason to lie. And they made me feel like it was my fault that this had happened to me. Like, yes, I was drinking underage, and I shouldn't have been doing that.
But so were they.
They were. Mm-hmm. But it was my fault that I got sexually assaulted.
How are cadets treated when they go public with a sexual assault?
It is typically negative.
Teresa Beasley was the Air Force Academy's top official on sexual assault prevention and response for 10 years.
There are usually negative things said on anonymous social media. They're ostracized frequently by their squad mates. And usually word spreads pretty fast and word gets out who is the victim. They'll have their nameplates taken off the room and thrown on the ground. People won't sit with them at lunch.
How are they treated by their commanders?
A lot of it is depending on the commander. Some commanders, unfortunately, will begin retaliating on the cadet as well.
That's why these current cadets are risking their careers by speaking to us about their sexual assaults.
He held me down while he assaulted me. I am at some house. I don't know where I am, and he is raping me. And then I can't bite him off. I can't do anything. And I was going to take it to my grave.
They requested that we protect their identities.
There's no understanding in the commanders about sexual assault, the trauma, the effects. They don't know. They don't realize that when I'm depressed in my bed, it's not because, I don't want to go to class today. I was terrified of reporting because I've heard of things that happen to people. And it did happen to me. So it's not horror stories. It's slut shaming. It's victim blaming. It's rumors. It's your career on the line. I've never wanted this. All I've ever wanted to do in my life was serve my country and be one of the best officers that I could be. It's the most unfortunate thing. You go there because you want to protect your country, and they don't protect you.
Do you regret reporting the assault?
No, I regret it every day. I regret it every day because of everything that came after. I just wish that I never came forward. because I never asked to be assaulted.
What would the Air Force lose if they lost you?
Someone who's passionate to be in the uniform. Someone who wants to serve our country. Someone who wants to lead America's young men and women and protect our nation. That's all I wanted to do.
So imagine that America's best and brightest women who want to serve may leave because of this kind of harassment. The Air Force Academy tells us that in the last 5 years, 11 cadet survivors of sexual assault decided to leave. One was over an honor violation, another for poor academics, and a third due to fitness deficiency. 8 disenrolled voluntarily. That means they left on their own. Tomorrow, we're going to hear more from Teresa Beasley, who led the Academy's Sexual Assault Prevention and Resources Office. She raises concerns about the way sexual assault cases at the Academy were handled and counted. The Air Force Academy also plans to respond to our reporting. In fact, we're going to hear from its new superintendent, Lieutenant General Jay Silveira. He's going to appear here tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
So glad you're telling this story, Norah. I remember when you came back and said, imagine the talent that we're losing, and now I see exactly what you're talking about. But I don't understand why the victim is ostracized and not the perpetrator in these cases.
Well, that's the issue, and a lot of them file what are called sort of private reports that then become made public, and so they face that ostracization amongst their cadets and colleagues and additional harassment, which is why some of them end up leaving the Academy.
Amazing work, Norah.
Yeah.
No, to hear the person say, all I wanted to do was just serve my country. That's all I want to do. And now because these jerks, she's leaving and they get to succeed.
Yeah, that is not right.
Makes no
It's wrong.
sense.